Welcome to the Lady NightHawk show, and we hope that you had a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving. We have Christmas and New Year's Eve that's coming up in front of us. I have some information I do want to give to you. One gentleman from that's having a job fair actually sent us some information and asked us would we air it on the air if we thought it was newsworthy. And I thought it was very newsworthy. Tom sent it to me, and I thought it was very newsworthy because I said I was trying to give you guys information that was actually happening in Bowie as well as in PG County. And so I want my guests to introduce themselves first. We could talk about that right now, Tom. That's fine. And so I did want to tell you this because it should air before, before the event. And so it's a COVID-19 Economic Recovery Quarterly Job and Resource Fair, right? It's a business and resource partners from around the county are eager to meet with job seekers. Find your new career at our job fair resource. Now, I want you, it's by the employee PG County. But Prince George's County, I'm sorry, they don't want you to say PG County no more. They want you to say Prince George's County. I'm sorry. And so the date is time is Thursday, December the 14th. It's from 10 a.m. to 1 o'clock p.m. It's going to be located at, it's on our screen, Tom had flashed it up. It's at 7401 Baltimore Avenue in College Park. This event is about 3 hours long. They do want you to go out and get a mobile e-ticket so you can be admitted into the Job Resource Center. You see that we have one of those QR codes. If you scan that, it'll pick up your information, and then that way, you automatically will get something saying something about the e-mobile ticket. So please, a lot of job seekers that are out there, so I'm asking you, this is for PG County residents, and we're trying to get people employed. A lot of people working part-time and no hours, and so this event should be a big event so that you can go out and get yourself a full-time job, okay? And then some people don't want those. Those have part-time jobs as well, So please go out, and that's December the 14th. It's general admissions and it's free, right? But you have to reserve a spot. That's the only difference. So scan your QR code, or go look it up on your internet, on your phone, and get your e-mobile ticket so you're registered to go on there. Then I have a couple of more things that I want you to know that's actually happening in Bowie, okay? And then I'm gonna have my guests introduce themselves, okay? Happening in Bowie on, by the time you would see this, I'm gonna start with that date because they had a lot of things that were going on in Bowie since November. But on Friday, December the 15th, they're having a senior holiday party. It's at 12:30. Enjoy the sounds of DJ Gigi and enjoy light refreshments. And you have to pre-register for that by December the 8th. It's $5 for residents and $6 for non-residents. And it's for seniors 55 and older only, okay? On Saturday, December the 16th, you can have breakfast with Santa from 9 to 11 a.m. for the seniors at the senior center. Bring the family to visit Santa, eat breakfast, make crafts, and watch a musician. And hurry, this event is only open to 90 participants. It sells out quickly. Admissions, once again, is $5. Children 2 and under are free. Pre-register at the senior center, which is, you can go out there online and go to www.cityofbowie.org, holiday happenings, okay, and register. Sunday, December the 17th, they have reindeer games from 12 to 4 at Bel Air Stable. We all know about Rudolph and his friends, but did you know that Santa uses Bel Air Stable to train reindeers? Did y'all know that?
I didn't know that, Paula.
I didn't know that. Learn what it takes to be a North Pole reindeer and play reindeer games, okay? And that on Monday, December the 25th, well, between November the 1st and December the 17th at the Ice Arena in Bowie, okay, it says let's not forget our furry friends this holiday season. Help support the local animal shelter by donating to the Ice Arena's first holiday Paws and Claws drive. You can donate unopened dog or food, cat food or cat litter, dog or cat toys, clean blankets through December the 17th. When you donate, stop by the rink office to pick up your coupon for free admissions to any public skating sessions as our way of saying thank you. Now that's really nice, you know. And that's a nice rink too, y'all, if anybody's ever been over there. Then on Monday, December the 25th, which is Christmas Day, all city facilities and city offices are going to be closed, okay? So we just want you to know that. City offices and facilities will be closed on Christmas Day. There's no trash or recycling service on this day. Service will resume on your next regular scheduled pickup day. And then Friday, December the 29th, they want to welcome 2024 noon year's party at 12:30 p.m. at the Senior Citizen Center. Put on your finest party outfit and come casual and celebrate. DJ Sewell will provide the entertainment, and there will be noisemakers, light refreshments. Okay, once again, this is for seniors 55 and only, and pre-registry fee is $5 for residents or $6 for non-residents. And lastly, on Monday, January the 1st, all city facilities and offices will be closed once again. It's because it's New Year's Day. There's no trash service on this day. Service will resume on your next regular scheduled pickup day. Recycling will be collected on the holiday for those on the Monday pickup schedule. Okay? So, Christmas trees will be collected on Wednesday in January with yard waste. Remove lights and decorations and leave unbagged. For more information, call 301-262-6200, or you can go visit www.cityofbowie.org//holiday happenings, okay? So go out there and take a look. It might be something that you want to do, and it seems like they're doing a lot of things for our seniors 55 and older, so please go out there and take a look. And that job fair, that's very important. I think that for you guys that are seeking employment, you know, for you to go out there and pre-register, get your mobile ticket. It's free, e-mobile ticket, so go out there and register. Thank you. Okay, that was a lot. So now, can I get my guests? They're not guests. The gentlemen that are here, you know them well. So if I could start with you, Attorney Bell, and we'll move around the room.
Well, good evening. Thank you for having me back. My name is Donald Bell.
Attorney Donald Bell, right?
I'm an attorney here in Maryland, here in Prince George's County, located here in Greenbelt, And so I'm happy to be back in the studio with you again this evening. And these two wonderful gentlemen as well.
Okay.
Paula, thank you for having me back as well.
As always.
Thank you. My name's Ross Levin. I'm a housing counselor with a nonprofit here in Prince George's County, also in Greenbelt. And we provide housing counseling services such as a foreclosure prevention, first-time home buyer education. We work with veterans, and we also work with seniors as well.
Okay, thank you. Commander?
Commander Charles Eggleston from the Military of the Purple Heart. I'm so happy to be here with this team because even my guys in other counties that I didn't know get a sneak peek at your show from time to time.
Okay.
They talk about the information they get primarily from you guys and Paula. So I'm just, it's Christmas time. It's just a joy to be among you, the team, as I call it.
We're happy to have you back too.
Always.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you as well. Today, I do want to mention, it would have been old news by the time you receive it, that there was another shooting at a university. And from my understanding that it was a person that was applying, that was an ex-professor that was applying for a position, did not get it, and got angry and went and what they usually do is shoot up people. So my prayers go out to their family members, and don't be discouraged. This is that time of the year. The old folks used to say at the end of the year, the God calls the roll, okay? And I can say that that's true. So, you know, don't be discouraged, you know, and our prayers go out to all of you. And we want to pray and stop, even though this is not the Jeremiah Church show, we still on any time we could say about prayer. So I'm asking you to go out there and pray that we have a wonderful holiday season and through the new year, and this gun violence and robbing and things just stops. I also want to say to my Bowie neighbors right quick, if you have a ring phone, if you go out there and look at the history, last week it gave me an alert and it told me about people that were just going up to people's homes, okay, trying to see whether or not the doors were open or not. And they caught one guy, and the lady scared the other one off by her ring on the outside of her house. So when yours go off, look at the alert and see who it is. And if you just say boo, okay, if you don't know who it is, then they kind of move away. But it was another person that was around the corner that they gave the information that the same thing was going on, but they caught that guy. Now, that was before Channel 5 made this announcement, which I thought that was really, really bad. I'm glad that they announced that people are checking doorknobs, but that's all over the country. It is not just in Bowie, okay? And I was offended by them specifically saying that we had the highest rate of people that go from door to door to check doorknobs in Bowie, okay? That might be what their statistics say, but it happens all over the place. My mother lives in D.C. My sister lives in Florida. If you talk to one of your neighbors or your family members outside of the, the metropolitan area, you find that those types of things are happening everywhere. So I just got kind of offended because it seems like it put us on the map for those people that are going to do those type of things. Now they know, well, we'll go there. That's the highest place. That they said that you keep your doors unlocked. That's the way it said it, right? Isn't that what, because Ross, you sent it to me as well,
I did.
as long as someplace else. It said it's one of the highest places where people keep their doors unlocked. We just tell people what to do, where to go, and how to rob people and steal stuff from people. Sometimes I think that we need to be a little self-conscious, about how we give the news. Not so much on what it is, but how it's presented to the audience in which you're speaking to. Because it set us up, I think, for people that are, out here doing those type of things. It said that we were the number one place in Maryland, the city, that had those types of happenings, and I'm quite sure that everybody else has the same thing.
Well, I'm going to tell you like this: don't go to Commander Eggleston's house, because if you walk up in his house without an invitation, you may not walk out. So.
Well, there's a lot of people like that, and it's a lot. Trust me, it's a lot of people that are like that, and that's why it's so terrible, because you don't know, with the gun laws being the way they are, you don't know who has an arsenal of weapons in their homes. So you are taking a chance. I want to say this to you. You are taking a chance going into anybody's house this day and age. I don't care where you live, because people are afraid. Doing somebody's administration made that so that people are kind of afraid to be in their homes during that administration. And that's when people went out and bought all these firearms, okay? And they were teaching their little children on how to, go out there in the country and shoot guns and firearms. So you better be careful. I'm gonna say that. You ought to be careful about wherever it is that you're going, checking people's doorknobs to see, because they said that they don't care whether they're in the house or out the house, that you ought to be careful about when you go and check somebody's doorknob and you think you're going to step across that door sill, you might be in for a big surprise. So we want to stop the gun violence. We want to stop the robberies. I know someone else, I read some information that they told me that people are stealing cars and stealing parts off of cars in, gated communities. And so, just be aware of your surroundings. Let me say that during this time of season. Please be safe. Be aware before you get out your car, before you unlock your door, look and see who's around you. Before you get to your car, have your keys out in your hand, okay? So that when you get to your car, you can get in your car and lock the door. I'm also going to recommend this. I'm not going to go out and buy a firearm, but buying mace is legal, okay? And you can put it on your keychain. So ladies, I'm talking about you that are out there late at night, and what made me remember that, because one time when we were going through this before, I did have some mace. I just don't remember, I think I got it from my Army store. But it was a lady that showed me the other day that she has a little thing of mace. It might look like it's little, but it's powerful, okay? Because a long time they were the big cans. But she has a little thing on her key ring. that's mace, okay? She showed it to me, and I said, oh, I forgot all about that. I don't have to go buy a gun, just buy some mace, okay? But just make sure that somebody's attacking. You just don't be shooting people just to be shooting them in the face, okay? So you got to be responsible as well, okay? So it's responsibilities on both ends, okay? Because you don't like somebody, don't go up and just spray them with mace,
Don't come to the wrong house.
You know, and don't go to the wrong house because you don't have no business there, okay? So, you know, if you do that, you asking to be mace shot or whatever, okay? But I'm talking about because you have an argument with somebody. If they, you know, if it's an argument, don't just mace them, okay? Y'all shoot them, okay? Don't do that. Let's have a good holiday season and have a good first of the year, okay? And now we have some more information for you that is very important for you to hear because it's brand new, spanking off of the press, okay? So I don't know who wants to talk first, but I'm gonna let them take it from here.
Okay. Well, one of the things that we wanted to bring to your attention, to the public's attention, is if you are a veteran and if you have a VA loan, and a Veterans Administration loan is, and you are behind on your mortgage, the VA has basically put a moratorium on foreclosures related to those veterans supported loans, and that moratorium will go until May 31st of 2024. So the VA had a program that we had come on over during the COVID period of time that we talked about, and it was a partial payment program. Basically, if you were impacted by COVID and you were behind on your mortgage, you could call your mortgage company and you could request that they take those payments that you had missed and put them on the back of your loan. It's called a partial payment. Well, VA ended that program October of 2022. I mean, unlike HUD, FHA, Fannie, Freddie, their programs were sort of going until I think like September, October of this year. But VA ended their program last year. So that put a lot of veterans in a conundrum because some of them were impacted by COVID in 2022 and in 2023.
A lot of people too, not just veterans.
Yeah, but with the veterans, so what would happen with the veterans is they would call their mortgage companies and say, hey, I want to put these payments on the back of the loan. And the mortgage company said, we can't do that anymore. What we can do is we can look to see if you can get a loan modification, but the rates were significantly higher. Some of these veterans had 2% and 3% interest rates. So the current market rates was 7 and 7.5. So if they were able to qualify for a loan modification, their interest rate went from 2% to 7%. So that meant that the payments, or the interest part of their payments would triple, making their payments increase significantly. So unaffordable. So setting them up for failure. So the NPR, National Public Radio, did a study, investigation, and they published it. And I think I sent that out to you guys, but it also got sent to a couple of senators. Senators started writing letters and knocking on doors. And so the VA just came out, I think November 30th, and they put a moratorium there. I guess they're gonna try to fix this problem. And the circular that Mr. Levin, circulated said, I think they're gonna try to come back out with the partial claim program, where they'll take those missed payments and put them on. The significance of that is they get to keep, if you have a low interest rate, you get to keep that low interest rate, okay? But I guess the issue is going to be what is the VA going to do for those veterans who've already refinanced and got those higher loans, because those loans are being serviced and being financed by private institutions,
Right.
okay? So, and I'm talking about banks, I don't know, I don't know if I can say the name of banks, but they're being financed by the banks, not by the VA. So I don't know if the VA is going to have to buy those loans back, or if those people are just going to be just out of luck. So that's the next sort of frontier that we got to look at. So if you're a veteran and you have a VA loan and you are facing foreclosure, please reach out to a housing counselor, reach out to the VA, reach out to somebody, because there is a moratorium on those on foreclosing on those loans.
Right, only on VA loans, not for conventional loans or any other type of loans. There's also for USDA loans as well. There is a moratorium on USDA loans as well. And there are some USDA loans actually in Prince George's County as well as in other parts of Maryland, rural Maryland, for example, in Charles County, St. Mary's County, and other parts of Maryland. So USDA as well. But for veterans specifically, there is a moratorium until May 31st for 6 months.
So USDA is what?
The USDA, that's a type of loan insured
U.S.
by the
Department of
government.
Agriculture.
Okay. And so is it for the employees or for anybody that they gave a housing loan to?
Well, those are for, typically people get USDA loans when they live in very rural areas.
Okay.
Mhm.
And, so they can't get conventional financing because banks don't want to finance.
Somebody lives in a rural
that
area.
lives in a rural area.
Right.
So the U.S. Department of Agriculture will basically guarantee that loan.
Okay.
And so it's designed for people who live in like sort of rural areas to be able to get home loans.
Mm-hmm.
So some of those people may have, farms,
That's what I was going to say.
Right,
but they
farms
also just may be in a rural area.
Yeah.
Well, rural area, and there are also loans up to 100%.
Yeah.
So there are loans like veteran loans, VA loans, where you can get VA loans up to 100% finance.
And we do have that here in Prince George's County, like in Upper Marlboro, places like that,
Parts of Prince George's
where
County.
it's still like a
Mhm.
it's not as developed.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, but the thing too is that a lot of those places and counties that you named, at one point they were underdeveloped. But
Right.
a lot now they're,
Yeah,
they're,
even here
they
there
are
are
developed
some.
now.
There are some now.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
correct.
In those areas that you're talking about. So you still, I would not see whether or not I qualify, because you're in a more developed area down there. I would still
Right.
check and they would tell
Right.
you.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about housing counseling is before someone goes ahead and buys a home, they should go to a housing counselor, learn about the different types of loans. There's only really two types of loans. There's a government loan and a non-government loan. USDA is a government loan. A VA loan obviously is a government loan. An FHA loan is a government loan. And then you've got the non-government loans, the conventional loans. So that's important for someone who's buying a home, whether you're a first-time home buyer, you're bought a home before. The loan program's always changed. It's always good for your viewers and for the public to get knowledge, and housing counseling obviously is a good thing to get.
Yeah. And with a lot of these government loans, there are a lot of protections that are built in to protect the consumers.
Absolutely.
Because the government has an incentive for you to be successful in paying that loan. I mean, the government wants people to be able to purchase homes and build equity and things of that nature, because if you're buying a house, then that means that you're not on the government's rolls to be taken care of by the government. They want you to
Right.
be able to take care of yourself. So they have these incentives out there
Yeah.
to help support you, like during COVID. FHA, VA, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, they had like these various programs out there. They didn't want you to lose your house.
Right.
So it said, banks, we gave you this money to loan to these people. We don't want you to foreclose on these people. We want to come out with these programs and whatnot.
Okay, so what you mentioned a very important point. And it was on my mind, and I was wondering how I was going to throw it in there, but you said the word, so you
Okay.
set me up so I could say what I'm going to ask you.
Okay.
Equity that people have in their homes, like say that you don't want to pull all your equity out, but you want to take some equity out to maybe fix your roof, or fix something inside your house to remodel it. Can you pull that money out of, some of it, not all of it, some of the money out of your equity that you have in your home? And when you do that, how does that affect your mortgage?
Well, the first thing I would tell you before you do anything like that, call a housing counselor
Yeah.
to sort of guide you through that process. Okay? So generally, when you're trying to pull equity out of your home, just because you have equity in your home, that doesn't necessarily mean that you'll be able to go out and pull that equity out.
But that's the question.
Because banks want you to have a certain equity cushion in the house. Okay? So typically, banks don't want to lend more than 80% of the value of your house. And some banks may not want to lend over 65 or 70% of the value of your house. So if your house has gone up in value, let's say if you were at a point where you had no equity, your house has gone up in value, and now you got 80%. Now you got a loan and you got 20% equity in the house. Okay, then a bank may not want to loan you that money because they want you to have that cushion in there. Because the bank, if you don't pay, then the bank says, I want to foreclose. Then the bank wants to be certain that they're going to get all that money when if they have to foreclose on your house. But let's say your house is going up in value. You had 20% equity, but it's gone up in value, $100,000, and now your loan to value is 60%. Well, and let's say if you have pretty decent credit, you got above a 700 credit score, now you can go and borrow 20% to bring you back up to that 80%. Okay, but you may be paying market rates.
That's what I'm saying. How does it affect a person?
So you
if
can
they
either
wanted to do
you
that?
can either refinance, meaning you can go get a whole new loan. Okay, so I mean you get a whole new loan. Okay, or you may be able to do something called a home equity line of credit, where you keep your first mortgage, and then you get something called a HELOC or a home equity line of credit. Okay, for that 20%. Okay, but you gotta kind of know. I'm sorry.
You have to pay that back too, though.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Of course.
Why you paying your mortgage? It's like having a second
loans,
mortgage.
right.
You gotta
So
pay
that's the
both.
reason why I
Right.
say you probably should talk to a housing counselor before you take on something like that. Because part of what that housing counselor may do is they're probably going to come up with a budget for you. You know, this is the money you got coming in. This is the money you got going out every month. This is what you can afford. Okay? Because you may have that equity in the house, but you may not be able to afford
to take it out.
to make that payment
Right.
every month.
Right.
Exactly.
So don't put yourself in a situation where you're going to lose hundreds of thousands of dollars by taking out that type of loan.
We're
So
borrowing against the property. And
Well, somebody asked me to ask you guys, so I didn't know how I was going to get that in, but there's your answer.
So I'm going to say be careful, because, you know, if you come and talk to me, and I'm not a finance person, but if you got a 2% or a 3% interest rate right now, and you're like, you know, I need to refinance to take money out of my house, it's not worth it, because you may be paying 7%. Even people who have very good credit are maybe paying 7% right now.
And that's what I told the person, okay?
Yeah.
Because we talked about the interest rates were at 7%.
Yeah.
Okay, and I said, I didn't know. I said I was going to ask, but I said, but I don't think it's a good time to do that. That was my answer to them.
Yeah.
But you need to talk to somebody and find out, because if you got a 2 to 3% interest rate, and the interest rates are high, I said, I don't know how high they are, but I know on one of my shows they said it was at 7%. I don't know if it's gone up
rates
some more or
nowadays
not.
are at 6%.
You
right
know.
now.
Okay, so it's gone down a little bit.
Going
Okay,
down a little
okay.
bit.
So I said, so the only thing I can do is ask, because if you ask me that question, somebody else is wondering the same thing right now.
But Paula,
Absolutely.
even if the rates are at 6% and you got a 3% interest rate, okay, and the interest that you're paying on your loan right now is $1,000 a month, and at 3%, and if it goes to 6%, the interest you're going to be paying on that loan is going to be $2,000 a month.
But you also got to say too that the loan is not just $1,000, because they still have to pay
The
the equity, the home, the principal, the home mortgage.
Right,
The principal,
taxes.
the interest, and the
Taxes
escrow, which
and the
includes the
insurance.
taxes and
Absolutely.
insurance.
So now the mortgage might say $100,000, but it's not, because you have all those other
That's
things
correct.
that are
Right,
involved.
exactly.
I just
And
want to
then
make
you
sure
have
we
the closing
repeat that
costs
again.
as
That's the
well.
reason why I say talk to
Right.
a housing counselor
Right.
before.
You've got to, that's why housing counseling is important.
Yeah.
And so once again, at the end of the show, the credits there that will give you their websites and their phone numbers. And I want to wish you a very, very, very Merry Christmas. For those that have lost ones, and with the episode that we've had today, we send out our prayers to all of you and to everyone. And please beware of your surroundings. Take care of yourself and lock your doors in your cars and in your homes. And make sure when you leave your house, that patio door, make sure that patio door is locked as well. And your windows on that first floor, make sure they're locked as well, okay? I'm just saying, because it's just really, really bad out here right now. And people don't care, okay? So protect yourself and be wise in what you do. And that's all. Good night, and we want to say good night to everybody.
Good night.